The majority of retirees either cannot afford to retire or struggle to maintain a decent standard of living after retirement. This is due to insufficient retirement savings over the working life of the person. Contributing to this problem is the rate at which workers withdraw retirement savings when changing jobs or when exiting pension before retirement. The draft regulation, emphasis on the draft, on the preservation of retirement benefits proposes that pension fund members preserve at least 75% of their retirement savings until retirement age when withdrawing from pension funds early before retirement. That is at 60 or if so pleases 55 for early retirement. This means that instead of having 100% excess of your savings when you resign, members will only be allowed to withdraw a maximum of 25% of their savings, leaving the remaining 75% of their funds until retirement, at age at least 55 or 60, which is the legal retirement age. And therefore allowing retirees to draw a monthly pension during the years that they are unable to work due to their age. That's the proposal.
All right. My name is John Inyeko. I'm the regional coordinator of MANBU. MANBU is a labor union representing the construction workers. And in Walvis Bay, I'm representing about 38 companies of the employees who we have consulted in regards to this. Therefore, I'm not alone in this. What I'm going to give to you, I'm representing my companies and my members. So, no go area to fulfillment. So we are.
Who said it?
So I am getting mandate. I'm having the mandate.
The workers represent said that.
Yes. Yeah. So the simple means. So we are not supporting the new proposal. Let the status quo remain as it is.
Or my conclusion that I want to give to the government of this Namibia. As a parent in a house, if you are lacking something in your house, like there's no food in house, you will not go back to the children to get money from them. The government is our parent. They are for us. So whatever, if they see that they care for us too much, the unnecessary spending that they are having in the government, all they have to cut the expenses that they are having to cater for their children. They can't come to us and say they will take from our money that we have worked for, and now they want to take care again of us, and the money, we don't know where the 75% is going to. What I say is, it is a no for me, or for me, for us. So you can't say you will come to me as your child and say, Angela, I need this to do this and this and this. Can I borrow from your money, or can I take your 75 from your salary? It is a no. They must get their own. They have to get to cut their unnecessary expenses, as I say. The things that they are doing, the tax that they are taxing us, which is so high, they must bring it a bit low for us not to have these financial problems and all these things that we are living in now. You can't say my money that I have worked for 20 years, now you want my 75%. It's a no.
Mwatunga, Walvis Bay Magistrate's Office. I'm actually here representing my colleagues because due to the workforce, we could not all attend, as this meeting was scheduled very wrongly. Most of our colleagues are at work. They are unable to attend. So I have this to say because I was mandated to come and say this. If you want to retain my 75%, what is the life expectancy? Will I ever reach the age of 55? Will I ever reach the age of 60 to be able to get my pension? That's the question, number one. I want to know, the government want to retain our 75% of our pension money. Government cannot even take care of the schools that are in dilapidating states. Government cannot take care of their hospitals that are in dilapidating states. The government, you have failed to run the Guardian Fund. It's mismanaged at the High Court. at the High Court is mismanaged. Social security, mismanaged. Yet you want us to trust you with our hard-earned money. It's impossible. We are not going to allow this. You want to micromanage our lives. You are already micromanaging our lives. Because as Namibian citizens, we do not benefit anything from Namibia. I am only but proud because I'm born in Namibia. But what do I get from Namibia? Nothing. Yet you want to milk me dry. It's impossible.
We even got a platform to talk.
It's a big no. For FEMA, a big no. Already in Namibia, we are in the reds everywhere. Erongo red. It's a red force. It's red everywhere. I also want to say something. There's another one. The act is not only, or rather the regulation is not only talking about the preservation fund. It's also talking about the medical aid, especially when it comes to us, the government, the civil servants. Why are we not talking about it? Why are we hiding? Do you want to ambush us or what? Tell us, what exactly do you mean? You don't want us to get the medical aid. That's what you are. That's what you are saying. You want to cut the medical aid. You want it to.
No, in the recent agreement, we say we are going to conduct a study.
Study. Let it come. We are waiting for it. Because you cannot even manage your hospital. What do you want us to do? It's a no, a big one.
The municipality of Walvis Bay. I'm actually just interested to know from the government, how are we going to be able to survive with 25% in a market? You know, if we have to, in a market-based economy with 25%. Have they tried it before? And what one of the comrades have said, the comrade Bertie, he said he wants to know whether the government has done their research with any other country. South Africa, our neighboring country, whom we so much admire, which have a thriving economy, has a history of looting pension funds. And the rest of Africa also are looting pension funds. GIPF, money has been looted. We don't know whether that money has been recovered or not. So it is interesting to know really how one will operate in a market-based economy with 25%. They haven't tried it. They can even try it. It will never work. It is not true. It's a lie. Like Comrade Nguni is saying, "Foo, they want to fool our money again."
I was working for Rossing Uranium when the gentleman talked about Rossing. And we was traveling around Namibia about the pension. And up to now, we are still struggling with the surplus what was there. And even the government can't even help us because some of the people who was working for the government, we was even by their offices and we even go and see them that they can help us with the surplus. And they up to now is now 33, I think it's 1992. The surplus was in 92 million. So up to now, I think it's now billions what we talk about. But up to now, they don't get even a solution how to distribute this money. And nobody, even the government, know we sit with that they call it Tamaleki of crisis. So the thing is, now we want to go now to another thing. And why can't they flip it over to 75% and 25% they get even? No, it's only a suggestion. It's only a suggestion. It's not like I say it has to be. Because you can do better with it, what you get out, and that's it. 100% is supposed to be to pay out. Like I'm also getting now, on my pension, it's one what I put away at that time when I was at Rossing. So if I look at it, it's not a lot. So what can you do with 56,000 in today's life? And even they govern the things according what they want. But nevertheless, it's so little, you can't even buy a car. So they kept these things according how they wanted to it. Like all the insurance companies, because they take the money to the insurance company, like Sanlam or Santam or wherever they take it. But they have their rules and regulations and their acts. What they kept the things according to how they want to do it. Because they take that money and they invest it in something else. They buy buildings. They do their things. And because we are the person who lose out end of the day. And even the families who stay behind, if the person is not there, say for instance, God decide tomorrow, I have to go. They people who stay behind, they suffer then after that. So then they want to give them that little money every month. I don't think it's fair. Because the way how they do things here, even like I said, on the schools, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Our government schools are not up to standard. We have to take our schools to very expensive. Now you have to budget it. Even if you go now to a private school, your university, like my son is at the study now at the university, he pay 30,000 per year. My daughter is 7 years old. I pay 43,000 rand for a private school per year. Is it fair? We can't even go to our government schools, even take our school, because I'm coming from a government school. So, but the main thing is, really people, it is a no-go because we are struggling still up to now with the rosin surplus. And I think there's a lot of people who are sitting here and they're still struggling. And even because they don't know how to do it, because where's the government now? But we pay taxes to our government, and they can't even appoint somebody to get a solution for that money. That money is still traveling around and all that, up to now. So really, people, we have to look into this. It's a no-go for me. 100% payout to your pension, it's better for us. We can do better with it.
For retirement, they must start with lowering the tax brackets already now, because it's super high. My question number one is, currently the status quo, are we even happy with it? Those that went on retirement get a 1/3 and the rest they get in monthly portions. Are we happy with it? No. Probably we scratch this thing because this meetings came as a result of what? Of the outcry of the public. This thing was supposed to be implemented October last year. And I would have wanted that the government should have had a call for a referendum. Go back to the drawing board, because if we are not happy with the status quo, we must propose for better benefits. Because 1/3 is peanuts, and then for life you'll get those allowances. I don't think it's even suiting us right now. However, question number 2, if there was an option to the current proposal, that I can choose whether I want to take the 25% now and the 75% remain, would we have accepted it? No. Or is a no-go? No. All right. We are not in support of him. And if they want to pursue, because I don't know who is pushing for this thing to be implemented. If they want to pursue this regulation or whatever view, we're going to remove them next year. Thank you.
So I just wanted to find out what the ethos or basis was when we came up with the ratio of the 75 versus 25% apportioning. That's one. Okay. And then number 2, I feel like with our current high tax, like how she mentioned, tax rate, I feel like it's a double punishment to retain 75% in the preservation fund, to put it, and then to also then just tax again the 25% that I get. So I feel it's a double punishment, because now you're taking 75%, you give me 25%, then you still tax it. So how much am I left with? So maybe I think you have reverse priorities or unallocated priorities that are not right. So my stance is no.
My name is Mama Mutkazus, and I'm working in Angana Seafood in the fishing industry. So, firstly, before I look in the hall where we are, so like one of my colleagues already been said, it's already been disappointed on the time frame which was already been put in place. So this should not be go to make that report that we managed only to speak to 100 people in Walvis Bay. So 90% of our colleagues, either the workforce, they are not around here.
Yes.
That is first number one, first priority. They are not here, and they are not saying they are not here because they are in support of the amendment. They are not in support of the amendment. That is first clarity. They have to be clear. So they are not here just simply because of the work where they are, that they cannot able to be present here. But they are not saying they are happy about the amendment. Let it be clear. So, number two, I have to go on to that one. So, the proposal was already been made by 75%. You give me 25% of myself. But you did not even tell us exactly what are you doing with that money, like other my colleagues have said.
They are putting it in the preservation fund.
Preservation, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. We don't get, the other comrade was saying, like, even Comrade Nogonga, even yourself, you invest money, $100,000 in a bank. There is something which you intended to get out of that money. So by this, whatever the government is trying to do, there's nothing, we don't even know what do they want to do. But the only thing they want to do is that they want to use our money for their own benefit. So I come to that point again on the last. Let me just only go the second last. So Namibian current status, where we are today. So our work environment, our workforce are not sustainable. Our work is not sustainable. Any times, any days, you can be fired. Any times, any day, you can be fired. Therefore, we are not in support. Any day, either after tomorrow, I will be given a letter that there is a retrenchment in the mine. So what will you do? Nothing. The question, the bottom line of my statement said, I'm not in support of the regulation.
Quite familiar with pension funds. There's something that's very crucial that we overlook, and that is the underwritings of different pension funds that exist in this country. If you look into the current FEMA Act, there's one part where all these funds actually has to go back and re-register these funds to be in line with the FEMA requirements. Now, I think there's a chance where we as members of these funds can make inputs and make sure that we understand what is the rules and the regulations of these funds. Because I realized many of us don't know. In the fishing industry, for example, you have people belonging to a provident fund and others belong to a pension fund. Some of these people who worked for 20, 30 years, they don't even know. Some of them were surprised by the time that they retired. When they belong to the Provident Fund, they get their 500,000 and that's it. You can go take your money and do whatever you want to do with it. But they were never explained that they can actually have a pension fund to take a portion and keep the other portion, for example, if they wish to. But they were not given these chances. So I think as workers, we need to go back and make sure that we make inputs in those rules of those funds, because even though we realized that our fund administrators were consulted when FEMA was brought in, and I think all of them were consulted, but they never came back to the members to say, I had the input in these consultations. So I think we need to go back and hold our fund administrators accountable, because even in the FEMA Act, it gives us also more rights and privilege to hold them accountable. But the unfortunate thing is we do not know what is the rule saying about the funds.
So
What is your position?
I'm on council, representing my family, because I work hard for them. I want to just get some clarity. We are busy with a serious matter, and I don't appreciate the humor that is being presented, because it feels as if the seriousness of the issues are being downplayed. This is a serious matter, and it should be seen, and it should be addressed, and it should be acknowledged in such a fashion. So for now, let's put away all the master of ceremony jokes, because this for me is a serious issue. So we cry. We can cry, it's not a problem. And when we started and when it was read, there was a talk of insufficient funds so that the people should not have insufficient funds. My question now is, what does the government regard as insufficient funds? What does it mean? Because when you started, when it was read, there was a talk about so that we must have sufficient funds. So what is that? When you retire. So yeah. So what is that? What is that? And even alluding to when we said about 64 life expectancy in Namibia, that's not the truth. That's probably the truth in our league, but that can never be a true reflection of a country that has people that are living in Kwisopin and people that are living in DRC. So it's two total opposing dynamics that we are talking about. But we speak collectively, and if it is to be communicated there, it should be communicated in such a fashion that we say, Walvis Bay has rejected this. Yes. And my stance is clear. I don't agree, there's no benefit, so let it be rejected. Yes. And I'm going to...
You do the translations, no problem. Okay.
No, I don't understand.
You want to speak in our language?
Yes.
Yeah, speak.
Shotetondala kuposa kuti epangelo elilala kukhala lino 75% datwei ovale kengaseke tuli ovaneilonga vepangelo inatupitikwa kukwehela kokopenjela itingate para state lati kwati o bonda sa oteipwedwa nale o texto yapo mbada o meo kwalonda otunefikola kefiko kujelanda na kujelanda maina ngeke ndaimedra dange do penjel ndipo shimali wa shangocho kutondala ndamakumbange ndeta fipo neijingule jingu danga menji kutandani mangenge pangelo tali finini kerikana ino 75% apa itanga sindukole lokwe idurukulonga ngonda imukulupe mumbwe dange ka dihapu nyina vale mumbwe dia kune budget dia puta basindiri munya mara pepa pima ngomuya hatuko gerenge no kukulupe kunyakuta ngonda kama no kushaka shaka bango message balongi pesa ngenge pangelo nalo 75% no to fima.
Now I just want to touch on the scary part of this proposal. This proposal is very scary, and I don't think you will find anyone who will accept it. Let me just come to the scary part. That is West one. Oh, she accepted. No, I was just me.
Okay.
She also touched some of my points also. But I just want to put it on the scary part one. They said if you resign, you just take your 25. They reserve the 25. You are retrenched. You take your 25%. They reserve your 75. So, and then you might find yourself you resign maybe twice. You retrenched 3 times, and your reservation is just there to the reserve fund. Okay. So I don't want to say the deceased people will be suffered here. Although they are in the grave already, they won't see, they won't hear, but the beneficiaries will be damaged more on this proposal. Because we already experienced the mistreatment of the funds in our country. The missing of transactions that can even happen while we are alive. Every time we are queuing up in the banks, looking for our money that is just lost. Just imagine now, you were just having all those reservations, transactions. You were with Convima, your fund is there. You were with municipality, Walvis Bay, your fund certificate is there. You were with Tunakol, there it is. Now, if happen that you are no more there, your beneficiary will just be told that we only have a reservation here for one company. Who will take it up if you are not there?
That you were here, you were there, you
Yes.
were there, you were there.
Yes. You will find that Convima is not exist anymore.
Yeah.
Rongo does not exist anymore. Who will take it up if you are in the grave?
And therefore,
it's very scary. Nobody will accept it. That is the scary part. That is where the scary part is. It's a no.
The proposal was
pasted and copied and pasted half. So I've also seen and also done a little bit of some research, and I've noticed that there are some countries which have got that, but then they put implementation some ways of how to mitigate with the impact that comes. There is things like some of those countries, they offer free hospital, education, and those things that can be handled when a person is no more on the payroll. You get your pension, you do what you do, and then when they see you cannot really afford to do what you're supposed to do, then you are on that payroll. You are on that system where you are being financed for you to be able to pay off your house, the school fees and other things that needed daily. So my question was, what has our government has done? They are going to take the pension, I resign or I get fired or whatever, retrenchment, which is out of my control. What has the government, what are they, what ways have they put up to mitigate now what will happen between here while I'm waiting to turn 55 to get the pension, because there's kids, there's house, there's car, there's everything that need to be paid. What has the government has done? I'm sure the government cannot just say,
To remedy the situation.
yes. I'm sure this FEMA was, people have sat and discussed it. Nobody just come up with that, such a big thing and then say, go to the nation and do this. Have they looked at that? Have they said, okay, go and tell them, we are going to hold their 75%. You are going to hold my 75%. But have they tell you what are they going to do to me while you are having my 75% because I get retrenched? And by the way, the question I wanted to ask, I will.
They did not.
Oh, they did not. So would you kindly go back to them and ask, what will I do to, what will we tell the people when they ask us? You also were supposed to think of those, Mr. Nebonga, you should have think of that out of the box and then create scenario. But unfortunately, it was not done. Nevertheless, we are giving the scenario to you. What happened to me when I can't work anymore? Maybe health issue, and then I just feel like I can't do this anymore. I'm throwing in the towel. I need medical attention. Somebody have to care for me. I need to pay that person. I got 75%, which is sitting in the coffer. And what am I going to do? So those are the things that you need to go and ask them, what should we do, or what should we tell these people in situation like this and this and this? This person get retrenched out of control, but the child still have to go to school. What should we tell this person? So that is what I wanted you to take up and then go back to them. And then still, I want to know, the official's question, still want that question to be answered. 75%, is it my contribution or the company's contribution? Because in this overall that I'm going to get upon my...
Total fund savings.
So everything.
Yes. Total savings.
Okay, just wanted to know that so I can refer back to those who sent me that question. Okay, again, when I was working, my money was going up as I'm working with my contribution, the company's contribution. But now, I'm not contributing anymore on that money. My contribution stopped, but you are still holding my money. Is it increasing? And if it's not increasing, why not? If it's supposed to come to me, benefit me, and increase my wealth. But now, it is frozen. Inflation, when it comes, that 100,000 which is there, will it do anything to me in 55 years, after 30 years? It's zero. That's also one thing that we need to look at. So I just wanted all those points to be cleared. Yeah, but still also the 75% which the lady asked, the Mr. asked, the question I have is 75%. It's going to help me live better. But who decide, who says she can live better on 75% and I can live better on 75%? We are different. Why 75% exactly? Why 75%? Why not 55%? It's also just a question.
If it's 55, are you happy?
I'm still not happy, but I still want to know. Maybe I might be happy, but I still want to know why 70? I cannot be just 75% of your thing. Oh, okay. I want to know why 75%. Why not 3%?
Now, I should go there.
Yes.
And they say they have no position for now. They just need you to answer this question why. Come back.
No. For now, standing on 75%, I say no. For now, 75%, I say
But
no.
to
But
any
I
other
still-
percentage you may
but
consider.
I might consider if it's 3%.
Why are you playing devil's advocate?
If it's 3%, I might
I want to
consider.
understand. I don't want
Yes,
to answer
sir.
myself in my report.
If it's something which is benefiting, if it's something that is benefiting me, I will say yes. If it's, I can see here there is a benefit. But if there's no benefit, I say no.
Can we just make
In
something
what you have
clear? This
submitted,
money- the money is supposed to be different.
in
Can I
what you
say-
have, yes, in what you have.
My name is Philip Munenguni. I'm an employee for Nempower, but I'm also a leader of the union. But I'm here in the capacity as an employee of Nempower, a member of Mine Workers Union. Now, as much as our union have already submitted, or rather NUNW have already submitted a note to FEMA, but still, the minister have continued with NAMFISA to come up with this consultation again. It's very questionable, knowing that most of the employees or most of the members belongs, or most of the pension people belongs to the union. So when NAMFISA went to do their research wherever they went to do it, I'm even wonder whether they did it in Namibia, because we as employees were the first people that are supposed to be consulted. Data is supposed to be collected from us. But where was this research done by NAMFISA? I never heard about it. It's very unfortunate. But one thing that I want to mention, knowing that perhaps NAMFISA went to copy a modus operandi to another country and bring it here, where they have not substantiated our economy, our living life in Namibia. Imagine, should I resign today or should I be fired from Nampower today? I'm not able to pay the university of my child. Because a lot of my money, the 25, I'll put it in a bond, in my car and my house, and the rest, But Namibia cannot even afford to pay our kids at the varsity level.
Amen.
Even currently now, the loan is not even sufficient. I'm having 5 nieces that were admitted at the university level. They are sitting at the village, at Domsheshe. Now, did the government went to do other research? I like one of my colleagues here said, did the government went outside the box just to find out what are the most wealthy way of creating wealth or reasons to create wealth in Namibia so that we cannot have poverty in Namibia. We are already over 40% of unemployment in this country. Now you want to create another poverty level in Namibia when you are putting the money aside. No goat, 0, 0, 0, 0 preservation. Thank you.
First, I don't know if this portion, this part of FEMA is a huge thing, eh? But we are more concentrating on this
Only
area.
one part.
2575. Was it properly explained to us? It's never.
No.
What triggered the government to come up with such? Somebody said probably they did a research out of the country somewhere in Europe maybe. And I also did my research somewhere. And some European countries, they have this kind of similar, like FEMA. But the way they do it, they have done it probably 100 years ago. And what you are proposing now, 2575, it's supposed to be done in 1990. When the government switched, that is where it's supposed to start. For now, as somebody said here, that what is the proposal? I'm a politician and a leader, I need to provide kind of.
1990, you are seeing the benefit.
No. If it was done in 1990,
You are seeing the benefit there for doing it.
if it was done in 1990, we could not be here today. We could be used, it could be one time. You pay off everyone. That is one of my proposals. If these things is to be done, retire everybody from the pension fund now as we're speaking. Retire all of us. Give us our money, all of us, and then we start from the scratch. But then, whoever claps hands here must think also that where is our money now?
And what
That,
is it doing? Yeah.
can that money come now? If we say we want that money tomorrow, it will not be. This money is used by some
Organization.
those guys. They are using our money. If you said bring our money now, there's nothing. There's no such money. But that is one option you can do. Retire all the people from their pension. We start over. Another one, if it is really needed, of course, the research that I did, it's needed. The government, number one, that you don't want to speak to the people on how does this thing work worldwide.
Of the pension.
Yes. The example you copy halfway. Yeah, they just take 1% of how they do it that side, and they come and paste it here, but it is wrong. In some of those countries, when people working, when you retire or you lost job or whatever, they have something called social security. It's not even a pension. When you lost your job, you are paid until such time you get a job or until whatever. Here, you remove that one. You did not disclose to us that one. So even now, we said we have to accept it. These people will suffer now. If we said we have to accept it, it will never work, because the way we are living now, it is. That I give you the first proposal. The second proposal, it can be done if there is interest of the nation. Only if there is. You can leave us that are working class now, the way we are. Maybe the youngest person working now is 18 years old, full-time employed today, 18 years old. You can leave such a person until 60 years old. Whoever going to be employed tomorrow, the 22nd of November, when that person getting employed, you put it clearly that you are no longer benefiting the same way the person who was 18 years old yesterday. You are on a FEMA now. It's a proposal I'm giving. It can be matured, of course. I don't mind. It can be, but as long as, no. The thing is, you're supposed to start this thing in 1990, when the government switched and everybody was retired from the pension, and we start over. Unfortunately, we were from the bush. We could not properly implement everything at one time. But that is the case. Take it to the government, please. The working class, they cannot accept such. But there is a condition that they request, if you are really interested to do this, retire us from the pension funds. Bring our money. 1st of January, we can start it. If Mr. Negonga can really tell us what triggers the government to introduce this, apart from us being worthy at the end. That point is clear.
The answer is, I don't know.
see now. The answer, I have it here, people of God. Listen. The government has increased the old age pension tremendously. In 50 years' time, the government does not want to pay old age pension from their own coffers. They want you to use your own money that you have reserved 75%. When you retire, that is the money you're gonna get, and they will stop the old age pension. That is the secret. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, so I fully agree with that gentleman over there, that I think FEMA and the Preservation Fund and that regulations will, though it has the intention to set aside funds for the future, which is a far future, for most of us, or probably some of us, to create sustainability of our living conditions and so forth. It has the high potential of creating immediate poverty. Because when you resign or when you dismiss or retrench, you surely you need money. You need to have this assurance that I will be able to sustain myself for an unknown period. What's going to happen if I have debts that is in excess of my 25%? It might be that you read in the paper, the guy shoot himself, suicidal. Suicidal numbers can jump in the air, skyrocket, because of all these troubles that we will be facing. Okay, now, sir, you mentioned about the Pension Fund Act. I just need to get some clarity here. The Preservation Fund is not yet part of the Pension Fund Act, the Act itself, as it is been will be introduced to the Act via the regulations. Okay, so it's not part of the Act yet. It will be introduced. It seems to me if that is introduced under the terminology of regulations, in the end it will be introduced as an amendment of the Act, probably. So it's just a funny way how they try to get this preservation fund into the Act, not calling it an amendment of the Act, but rather refer to it as a regulation. How can you regulate something that is not part of the Act? Yes. It's very funny. Okay, now I'll get back to when you introduced the Preservation Fund and the regulations. You mentioned that the government established that there are people who is using the money. They withdraw their pension fund, maybe when they have resigned and so forth, spent all the money, they didn't put money away, and now at the age of 60 or an elderly age, they suffer. I can assume, or I should assume, that there was a research done, a proper research. So I would like to understand who did that research and who ordered that research. Can the government tell us the name of the companies that ordered that research? How was that fact established? Was it merely politicians sitting in a meeting and discuss the probability of the possibilities? So what is the real facts? Has that been investigated? Is it been ordered? Is there a proper report? I would like to understand that. So if you can give me a minute, I've got some more questions here. Yeah, then I would also like to know which countries in the world ever introduced a preservation fund like this, and if there is any, what is the success rate? Did it achieve what it was designed for? We would like to know if there's any references in that regard, so that we can understand and say, yes, there's a reference, there's a country that did it before. In the same light, I think that the government is, yes, I think a preservation fund or setting money aside for the future is a good thing, but I can also do that in my personal capacity. Okay, we all cannot do it, we all cannot afford it, but we want to, okay? I think the government should do more than a preservation fund. If they want to look after our living conditions or our health, our wealth, they must think outside the box.
they must take, it's their responsibility as a government to look after the citizens of Namibia. There's a lot of other things they can do to improve the conditions and to create wealth in this country. And I don't want to go there, please. I don't want to go there how we sell out EPLs to foreigners and so forth and so forth and so forth. There's too many. So there's other opportunities, other areas where they can create wealth and not use my money to set it aside so that they can get access to that money somehow. Because this is what I think is going to happen. They want to put that money aside so that they can have access to that money and use it in the meantime to do some stuff. Okay. Then, the last point. The money that I work for, the money that I must set aside, because it's compulsory for some companies, you set aside money for your pension fund and so forth. That money is still my money. It's invested with another company. They take that onus and responsibility to maximize that money for me. Nobody has that right to tell me what I should do with my money. When I'm entitled to it, it is my money. I can do with it what I want to, how I want to spend it, when I want to spend it. If you tell me otherwise, then you are that's an infringement on my. It's an infringement on my personal rights. So I think the government must also consider what is the legal right if they want to infringe my rights as a human being. That's my money.
It's your ear geld.
My eie geld, meneer. That's my eie geld. I want to spend it like I want to.
This door, can they open?
One more question.
This one.
Yeah, thank you. Two more questions and I'm done. Two more questions.
If it can open, one can help.
One is what become of the money, that 75%, if I die before the age of 50, 55 or 60? I wanted to know that. You said that the money is, who is now the custodian of that 75%? Is it the government or is it still my pension fund where I invested? What is the interest rates? If that money belongs to the government, we need clarifications on this. What happens if it goes over to the money, to the government? At what interest rates? Is it still the same interest rates, or is it better than where I would have invested, where it was initially? We don't know. We don't know these questions, the answers to these questions. Hopefully you can explain it to us. Thank you.
Now, I have a question before I explain. If you get a satisfactory answer in terms of who will invest, how much interest the money will earn, what will be your position?
If
you get the answer to your questions, how many interest, who will keep the money, and all that. Okay, if you get that one, what will be your position?
First, if the money goes to the government, I'll be very suspicious and uncomfortable with that. Okay, I will be uncomfortable with that. If the money is with the pension fund, then at least I have some sort of assurance, because the money had been with the pension fund for a while, and every year I receive statements and I see that my money my investment is growing and so forth. If at the interest rate, I rather would want it to be a better interest rate.
Even your house is gone.
Beg your pardon?
Even you have lost the house.
Maybe rephrase the question. Rephrase your question.
All right.
Okay, no, sorry.
All right. The thing is, one, the question is that who did the research? Where was the research done? Yeah. We don't have that answer as a committee.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, we don't have that answer. And the population of the scope of the study, we do not have. We do not have information relating to the a country or so where the similar practice was applied and the rate of success. We do not have that because we were not part of the decision, and therefore we are not in possession of those information.
That there's a DC fund and a DB fund. Defined benefit and defined contribution. Most government institutions is a DC, a DB, a defined benefit, and private companies is a defined contribution. My question, the clarity that I want to have is that the 25%, would it only be my saving, not including the benefit that the employer has made? Holistically, looking at this issue, is that we refer to percentage, and percentage can cause us to be in a roller coaster. In English, they say the cognitive before the cognitive, the action before the thinking. Look at cleaners at schools. What are their salaries? If they must get a 25%, then it is a matter. I'm having a request and a recommendation. My request in short, and I want to go accord with what was one of the previous speakers said. It seems that this issue is coming like an eagle on helpless chickens. Why I'm saying it? Last week, the government pensioners of Namibia spoke to Mr. Shivute. Can they rather leave this issue, shelf it for a while, and get into the China shops who's not paying tax? Because they are draining the country. I'm honest when I say it, they are draining the country. Because we are not getting, they are not having a till, they don't give you a receipt, you cannot pay with a card. Let government scoop down on them. My last one, the recommendation that I would like to see is that, my recommendation is, seeing that there was not consultative meetings where the individuals have been recognized, this FEMA should be totally abolished to the foundation. Thank you.
Sir, we had about, say, just under 100 people here today, and about the very interesting meeting that you guys held as a committee. What's your view on this whole, first on the meeting today?
The first thing, we are satisfied with the number of people who turned up. We are quite satisfied with their participation. The explanation, the information that they got from us, which form part of our terms of reference and mandate as members of this committee. The members engaged us very fairly. They were eloquent. They understand, they form their opinion with regard to the implication of the proposed changes, and they have given us their positions on the proposed change. Of course, they are not pleased with the proposed change, and of course ours is to get information from them, compile a report, and give it to the minister.
What's the way forward now?
The way forward, we are still conducting meetings within the Erongo, the entire Erongo. Of course, other members are conducting similar meetings elsewhere in different regions. So the way forward is to have all the report from different teams consolidated, and then have a comprehensive recommendation to the minister as to what people think should be done with regard to the proposed changes.